Alright, it's time. I love Thai motorcycles, I love Thailand, I love Thai drag racing, and I'm sick of not having a drag racing bike. Alright, behind me I've got my Honda Wave 125. This is an incredible motorcycle that has seen me through over 6,000 kilometers of daily commuting in the last 6 months. It's been an awesome experience riding this bike to and from work. All I've done is added this little exhaust over here. It's a new lamb lacquer exhaust, and the other thing that I've done is change the color of the plastics. Apart from that, this thing is stock standard, and you know what? We need to change it up a little bit. I didn't really know why small drag bikes existed, but I learned as much as I could. I watched the drag races myself. I checked out all the videos online. Tried to understand what they were doing, and basically in Thai small bike drag racing you've got a few different classes. You've got twist and go, you've got your 4-stroke, and then you've got your 2-stroke bikes. I'm sure they break it down into smaller categories, but I am focusing on this thing here, my Honda Wave. In 1996, the Honda Wave first became a Thai domestic market model, a follow-on from the Honda Dream, first produced in 1986. This thing here was awesome. It came out in a 100cc originally, they eventually made a 110, and following on they made the 125. Some of my favorite things about the Honda Wave have to be, number one, the pillion passenger pegs. You can fit 2 people on here comfortably, and in Thailand it's not uncommon to have 3 or 4 people, sometimes even 5. This basket here is awesome. It provides me with so much storage, and I'm so lucky to have it. The other thing that's really awesome for me is my underseat storage. Under here I've got 18 liters of storage. I can fit a full face helmet with no issues and close the seat. How cool is that? You can get these things here with completely custom engines. They've got different barrels, different heads. They can be making up to 300cc. They generally have a manual conversion once they're getting over a certain power level, and these things here, the Honda Wave, can absolutely be brutal, and in an 1/8 mile competition they can blitz a lot of the competitors that will come onto the scene. The Honda Wave 125 shares its engine with the Honda Grom, the Honda Monkey 125, the Honda C125 Super Cub, and the Honda CT125. Bear in mind, this fuel-injected version was the first one of those models to use this engine, and yes, there are a couple of differences between the different bikes, but mainly those come down to, are they kick, electric start, or are they manual or semi-automatic? Unfortunately, there are almost none of these bikes in my country. I wish there were more, but I've got one of the only ones, if not the only one. I'm going to do my best to give the Thai drag racing scene some justice and show them that someone else can emulate what they're doing. Alright, so my first things I'm going to do are really basic. I'm going to remove the front and the rear wheels because they're going to get changed color-wise. Look at the new front tire I'm going to be putting on this bike. Alright, this is it. It's branded a Swallow. It's 2x17 or 50, 90, 17, which is absolutely tiny. This is made in Indonesia, and I'm sure there are epic tires in Thailand, but I don't have one from there. And luckily, I managed to get a hold of this thing here in New Zealand, so this is what we're using. As you can see, it's got quite a smaller width than the original front tire, and this thing here, which compared to the current rear is quite narrow. This thing is going to be going on this wheel here. Well, as you can see, we're done. The wheels are color changed. I need to go get my vest. I'm missing my vest. Alright, well anyway, I'm back. Got my vest, got my wheels. I've changed the color on the wheels. It's only Plasti dip. I've used black Plasti dip. Why have I used Plasti dip? Now Plasti dip or plastic dip or any other product by a similar name is a special kind of coating that you can do that's not paint really. It's literally like a rubberized plastic covering that eventually when you're finished with it, you can kind of water blast it off or even peel it off if you've done enough coats. And the more coats you do, the thicker it gets, the easier it is to come off. I've got my two wheels here, and as you can see, they're different sizing. We've got a 50, 90, 17 or a 2x17 on the front, 2 inches by 17, and 2.5 inches by 17 on the rear. And this used to be on the front, and this thing here wasn't on this bike previously. So Thai drag bike on a budget. Can I do it? Is this going to make it good enough to be considered a Thai drag bike? Probably not. I need to do a few more steps, but let's see how this goes. Can you make a Thai drag bike just by changing the tires on your bike? Nah, not really. Well, that's a bit weird to look at for me. The front is obviously looking very anemic and tiny and small, just not how it should be. And the rear is quite skinny, but the rear actually looks not too bad. The front needs a thin rim, the rear needs a thin rim if I really want to go down this track. But this is going to be the inspiration to do some other stuff on this bike, so stay tuned, because this year you will be able to see this bike, fingers crossed, number 1, change color, number 2, get some proper drag racing bits, and number 3, maybe sometime we will look at ripping this engine out, doing a big bore kit, getting the fuel injection looked at, and possibly just putting an aftermarket ECU in there as well that's fully customizable and tunable to the bike. That way I can take it to a dyno and I can get it set up properly on a dyno and I don't ever have to worry about it. So I'm really, really excited to see where this goes. Maybe we can get some rolling footage of this so you can see what it looks like with the new skinny tires. Thank you so much for watching though. This has been Small Bike Stuff, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.